Well, if you were paying attention, you may have noticed that Bob Iger has actually extended his contract at Disney. And with him being in charge of Disney, that means he's the ultimate boss of Marvel Studios. Now, recently he's talked about what's going to be happening going down the road, then some of the changes that are inbound for the studio. And I think quite honestly, some of them are probably good ideas. It sounds to me like they're going to pump the brakes once again. Well, quite honestly, the Infinity Saga ended with Avengers Endgame, and it was an undeniable blast. Since then, we've gotten some really great projects from Marvel Studios. But to be fair, there's an undeniable decline in quality of some of Marvel's output. Now, Marvel is nowhere near in the shape of Warner Bros. And DC. Since the beginning of Phase 4, Marvel's box office has been almost $7 billion. But the franchise is no longer critic-proof, and even though they've made some money, it has even delivered some commercial disappointments in the form of Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania and the Eternals. Now, many fans have blamed the massive and sudden increase in Marvel releases for creating basically a quantity over quality approach of storytelling, which has led to a lot of fan disappointment. Now, like we said, yesterday the news broke that Bob Iger had extended his contract and will remain CEO of Disney until 2026. And with all this recent news and press, Iger has given a little bit of time to where he thinks Marvel Studios has gotten off track, and quite honestly, I kind of agree with him. This is what he had to say. There have been some disappointments. We would have liked some of our more recent releases to perform better. It's reflective not as a problem from a personal perspective, but I think it's in our zeal to basically grow our content significantly to serve mostly our streaming offerings. We ended up taxing our people way beyond, in terms of their time and their focus, way beyond where they have been. Marvel's a great example of that. They had not been in the TV business at any significant level. Not only did they increase their movie output, but they ended up making a number of television series, and frankly, it diluted focus and attention. That is, I think, more of the cause than anything. Now, when a guy is right, and I think Iger has nailed it here, and this is something we've been hearing for a long time. There have been multiple reports that Kevin Feige is absolutely overloaded with dealing with so much content, and I do believe that is exactly why there's been this downturn in overall quality. Now, it's been super awesome to get as much MCU content as possible. I'm a huge fan of the Moon Knight series, and I'm pretty sure that would have been one that didn't happen. But it is totally true that the sheer number of stories being told in movies and TV has led to a decrease in excitement and ticket sales, and a decrease in quality because you can only spread the butter so thin on the bread. And Marvel has tried to take a dollop of butter and a loaf of bread and make it work. Now, reading between the lines here, it seems pretty obvious to me that the plan now is for Marvel to reduce their Disney Plus offerings even a little bit more. I think when you look at the upcoming schedule, that's pretty reflective of what's going on. We definitely had a decrease in what came to Disney Plus this year, and many shows are being delayed into next year, so I suspect we won't be getting any new announcements from Marvel Studios anytime soon. They'll complete the projects they have on the books, and then look to reassess what's next. This means many of those extras like the holiday specials that we were thinking were going to be an annual event are very unlikely to happen, and it does cast doubt on other series that haven't spun up yet, like that Black Panther spinoff or Wong series, which the question for those both is, do we really need them, and is it something Marvel even needs to produce? Hopefully this ultimately ends up being a wonderful decision and refocuses the company in the direction that we all have loved in the past. Marvel's output before all of this was 3 movies a year, and they were really nailing it, so I don't really see a problem with the movie releases. I suspect a lot of this we're going to see is in reflection to Disney Plus, and I would not be surprised if 5 years down the road, Marvel is doing 1 or 2 projects a year on Disney Plus instead of nearly a half a dozen like we were getting last year. But we're going to have to wait and see.